Okay, Kevin here. I was on KCLR 96 FM during the week with Emer Verona, and we were talking about mental health. And we got a number of questions in, one of which was about medication, in particular SSRIs. And most people don't know what they do. So this is a quick, simplified version. It's not neuroscience, just a quick, simple version of what an SSRI does. Or in other words, a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It works quite simply, and some people are afraid of it because they don't get explained what it does. GPs just don't have the time, it seems. So again, a simplified version. Let's start like this. Let's take a switch, something as simple as a switch. In order for a switch to make a connection, we must turn it on. Red light comes on, switch is on, connection made. Connection broken. Let's call this the A side and the B side. We're used to calling it off and on. No, A and B. A off, B on, connection made. Well, we don't have wires in our head. What we have is something different. It works like this. First of all, let's take the A side, A, and the B side, B. We need to make a connection in our brain. We use neurons. We don't have copper wires or connectors. What we have is a different thing. It's called transmission. In other words, we have on this side of our neuron, the switch, a neurotransmitter. It transmits. On the other side of the neuron, we have a neuroreceiver. It receives. Here's the idea: to feel relaxed, to feel good, to feel comfortable. We release a chemical called serotonin from the transmitter. It's received by the receiver, connection made, we feel good. In the case of anxiety, depression, stress, etc., we have a problem. Anxiety, stress, and depression release in the system a chemical called cortisol, the stress hormone, or the stress hormone, to be more correct, more accurate. So what does it do? It triggers an awful lot of symptoms and functions within our body. In other words, the fight or flight syndrome, which we'll get into some other time, or come visit me. But anyway, here's what it does. The cortisol is released. Basically what it does is it coats the receiver, making it difficult for the pleasurable hormones to get through, like serotonin. So what happens is the hormones bounce off, and they make their way back to the transmitter and are reabsorbed by the transmitter. Hence the name selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. To prevent those hormones being reuptake or reabsorbed, taking one of those tablets, here's what it does. It puts a coating on the transmitter, not allowing the hormones to get back in. So now they float a little longer out there in that space, and eventually they find little chinks in the armor to get through. Subsequently, we begin to feel better. But let me explain that. We begin to feel, better. Feel happy, better. Joy, better. Anger, better. We feel better. That's about the height of it. For any questions, visit me on my Facebook page, Kevin Hennessy, CBT for Mental Health and Wellness. Have a great day.